All right, I think we're live, but I'm going to wait until I see myself appear on my screen, and that will be the indicator we're officially live. There we go, I can see it. Good morning, everyone. Today is going to be a special episode for a few different reasons, but for those of you joining for the first time in the playback, let me just introduce the channel. So on this daily stream, what we do is a comprehensive wellness check on the crypto markets. We then extrapolate that out to the oil markets, silver and gold, US stock market, and the Japanese bond market. So we do these daily health checks in the beginning of the session, and then on the back half, we go into my DeFi opportunities, and I show you guys all the cool stuff going on there. This is a special episode because today the Firelight cap has officially been raised. It's already live at the time of me making this stream. So I'm going to do a little combo video today. So for those of you in the stream, you're going to get a peek behind the curtain because I'm actually going to shoot a video while I stream. So while I'm doing that, I won't be interacting with the chat at all. So just for you guys to be aware, we're going to do that when I cover off the Firelight section. I want to get this video out fast. So it made more sense to me to try to do it in the live stream so that as soon as this is done, I can go and go bam, 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 and get that thing out there. In addition to that, and I want to wait until a few more people join the stream so that I can kind of show the next cool thing. If you guys are good at Easter egg hunting, it's actually already in the frame. But I'm going to be showing off some cool stuff here in just a minute. It looks like we're almost at 20 people. I think once we get maybe 5 or 6 more, I'm going to jump into that. In the meantime, I'm going to say good morning. I think once we get through the good mornings, we should probably be up to around 20-25 people on the stream. That'll be good for that intro. So good morning over now. Good morning, Josh. Good morning, Scorpio. Good morning, Pat. Good morning, Jim. Good morning, what up? Good morning, Louie. And good morning, FRD. So we're at 18. That's good enough. I think we're just going to do it now. This is very, very cool. Flare officially reached out to me, sent me a complimentary Flare hoodie. I think this is awesome. Good morning, Dinah. And on top of that, now I haven't unboxed the wallet that they sent me yet. So we're going to do that right now. I'm going to put the hoodie on and then we're going to unbox the wallet. And then we'll get started with our normal content. By the way, I do have another announcement after that. So, oh, this is actually pretty sick. Check out the back of the hoodie. You guys aren't going to see the back of the hoodie. This is the back. So once I put this thing on, you're probably not going to see it again. Check that out. Maybe I could hang this on the wall. Huh? Maybe we'll hang this on the wall. I'm definitely wearing it in today's stream, though. That's for sure. There we go. There we go. Awesome. What better timing to have a Flare hoodie than when Firelight goes live? The microphone's covering the logo, but there's that. Now I've also got a Ledger Flex from them. I'm going to unbox this as best I can without destroying the thing. Now I might need something that can cut. I don't have anything on me that can cut. So we're going to try the fingernail method first, and if that doesn't work, then I will go and grab the next best thing. Oh, it looks like it's coming out of the box here, so we might be able to do this without any scissors. I'm pulling off the wrappings here. So, boom. Oh, whoa. That wasn't supposed to happen. I don't know what just fell. Okay, cool. So let me just make sure I didn't lose anything important. Let's see what we got here today. So this is a Ledger Flex. This is cool. I might do a video separate I might do like a, hey, let's set up a ledger flex together video. Let's see if this focuses in. Yeah, look at that. Pretty cool image quality. This camera is nice, man. All right, so this is sweet. I just pulled the safety sticker off. I might do like an unboxing video. Oh, this is sweet. Check this out at the bottom. At the bottom, I don't know if you guys can see it because it's not focused or the lighting's not that great, but down there in the metal gravings is the Flare logo. I can see it a lot better than you guys probably could, just because of the way the lighting is. Maybe if I put it in this way. Let's see if I can get that thing. Yeah, there it is. You guys can kind of see the Flare logos down there at the bottom. Yeah. So this is pretty sweet. Outside of the box, we've got obviously the ledger. There's more stuff in here. There's a recovery key sheet. Obviously, you want to have one of these. And then there's some installation documents. I think there might be one more thing. Okay, we have a charging cable. So, gonna finish unboxing this, and then we will jump into our regular content. I don't want to rip the box apart, but it is just a charging cable, so I might just He-Man this thing out of here. What do we got here? All right, we have a USB-C cable. You can never have too many of these, so that's sick. I don't exactly need one, but I don't mind having extras. Aside from that, it looks like all we really get from the wallet is a recovery sheet. Now, if you've ever set up a wallet, you know. Yeah, okay, so this right here is the, you know, when you buy an electronics, you always get like the info sheet that most of you guys probably don't read. I don't usually read them either, so that's beside the point. Let me get this thing back in the box. There's a few different things I'm gonna have to put back in here. But there's the documents. It's gonna be like the warranty and all that fun stuff. This orange sheet right here is going to be the recovery sheet. Let's just pull this out and see what's in here. Oh wow, it comes with a few extras. So what do we got? Oh, this is cool. So it comes with 3 recovery sheets. It's like that. If you've ever set up a wallet, this should be pretty obvious stuff to you guys. There's 24 lines on here. I'll probably do a separate unboxing video and just kind of go through all of it. But I think this is really cool, you guys. Flare sent me this free of charge. I didn't have to pay $1 for it. So I'm definitely gonna give them a very big shout out on Twitter for this. This is very, very cool. And it looks like there's some little thing in here. I got this little thing. Oh, I don't know what this is. I got this little black square, but I don't know. Okay, Wet App, you have this exact one. What is this little black square? I don't know what this is. It like a QR scanner, or is this I don't know. Maybe I'll mess around with it later. In the meantime, I'm gonna put it back in the box, and we're gonna start with our normal content. Ooh. So that goes back in the box. Super huge shout out to Flare for doing this. Very cool. It's kind of surreal getting reached out to by one of your favorite networks. You know, I've only been on YouTube for maybe 4 months, maybe 4.5 at this point. So very, very cool to see that. Another announcement I want to make is, as you guys know, I started this channel during a period of unemployment. Now, in the beginning when I started it, I said, I want to go all in on YouTube. Let's see how far I can take things. Made it to March full time. Not exactly as lucrative as I would have wanted. So I have made the decision to go back to a traditional 9-to-5 style job. Now that doesn't mean that this show is going to come to an end, but I am going to have to change the time slot. So I haven't made a decision yet, but I'll either do this show early in the morning before I would start my job, or I will stream after work. So it's either going to be probably by the way, the time zones that I'm in the Eastern time zone, I'll be working for a company that's actually on the West Coast. So it might be very easy for me to stream in the mornings, maybe like a 9 a.m. start, or I could just stream at night. So that's pretty cool. This is for the best because it means that I won't feel pressured to monetize the channel. I'll be able to make good content. I'm going to be working fully remote, so I'm not going to have to drive to work. So I'll still be able to make videos at night. And this is just all around going to be a big stress relief for me. So very excited about that. I don't start for another 2 weeks. So, nothing's going to change this week or next week. But then after that, we will start to see at least some changed time frames. So let me say good morning to the few people that have just jumped in. Good morning, Steph. Good morning, Mill. Good morning, Wine Viking. So now we're going to jump into the crypto update. When we get to the DeFi spot, I'm going to kind of, we're going to kind of do a video while I stream. I think that'll be cool. So time to share the screen. So a lot of fun stuff, you guys. You know how much I love Flare. Flare's price right now has officially reached well, I guess it's still got like a fraction of a penny left to go, but very, very, very close to its true all-time bottom. I mean, it could potentially happen today. But let's just take things from the top, go one at a time here. Fear and greed kind of slid back a little bit. We've had quite the slide overnight. So yesterday, fear and greed at one point almost at 50. So that would kind of say that like the market isn't hot, it's not cold. That was to me a good sign that we are going to be kind of spinning out of the deep bottom that we found ourselves in. Had a little bit of a pullback on this, not a whole lot, but some. Now, Bitcoin has held its price pretty well. I mean, 72,000 down from 74 isn't too much to be worried about yet, but it does mean that our moving weekly average is kind of washed out. I'm still not worried yet, but this was a pretty steep fall from where it was, even just 24 hours ago. In fact, the major dippening, if that's what we want to call it, the dippening didn't start until around 6 a.m. today Eastern time. So this steep fall right here is actually very recent. When I say recent, I mean I'm talking like the past like 3 or 4 hours recent. So we're going to keep an eye on this. Last night I went to bed and the markets were still pretty good. Wake up this morning and things are falling off a cliff. Ethereum back below 2,200. You guys know the dance. Anytime Bitcoin falls, so does the rest of the market. So we have not seen decoupling yet. I don't know if we'll see it before Clarity Act really goes through. Now, if some of you guys are on Twitter, you know that there's a lot of buzz about the Clarity Act. The SEC yesterday made some announcements about which coins or which tokens are now listed as commodities, and they've kind of bracketed off into different subgroups. So there's stable coins, there's going to be commodities, there's going to be utilities. Is that the actual Clarity Act? I'm not so sure, but it is a step in the right direction as long as we still get our DeFi yield. Oddly enough, yesterday when I opened up Coinbase, before I could do anything, it sent me to a screen to call my senator. I did call my senator. I don't know if that's actually going to do anything. But if you have Coinbase, if you open it up and use it, I guess you have to live in the United States for this to happen. If it gets you in contact with your senator, just do it. It takes like 5 minutes. I'm sure they don't. Let's be real. Are they really going to listen to 10,000 voicemails? They'll probably just be like, oh, here's another one. And like, they'll probably record that it happened. They're probably not going to actually listen to what you're saying. But it doesn't hurt, right? 5 minutes of effort. Maybe it does nothing. Maybe it does. So I did it. I encourage you guys to do it as well if you have Coinbase. Or you don't even need Coinbase. You could just call your senator. But Coinbase makes it very easy for you. They'll show you exactly the phone number to call for exactly your representative. So it was very easy for me to do. So I figured if you have Coinbase, head on there today. It'll probably do the same thing for you guys. So this Charles guy, I don't know what you're talking about, Charles. You coming into all my videos saying that I don't sell subscriptions. So I don't know what you're talking about. I have not collected anything from you. Sorry if there's a misunderstanding here, but I don't have a website or whatever it is you think I have. I don't have, so I don't know what you're talking about. I wouldn't even know how to give you a refund for something I haven't gotten from you. So I don't know what's going on. But anyways, Dynamod says, what do you think Flare is going to land in these new digital classifications? Probably going to be in the utility space. I was kind of hoping it'd be a commodity, but the reason I'd want it to be a commodity is because of the whole like income tax on DeFi thing. It's kind of a big problem. But if it's part of the utility bracket, maybe that will take care of that problem. So we'll have to see how this stuff gets legal clarity, and I'm sure we'll get an announcement from Flare themselves of what they end up officially becoming. So XRP also down about 5% in the past, really past 5 hours. So starting around 6 in the morning, had a very sharp fall off, right? So this is going to be the theme of all the different cryptos in the space right now, especially Flare. Now, actually, there's going to be one that actually hasn't fallen. We'll go and look at that one in a second. But this stuff doesn't have me too worried, you guys. If you know where the technology is going, seeing a 4 to 5% dip is not going to necessarily ruin crypto, right? So the weekly gains that I was excited about basically wiped out. Let's see what happens. You know how volatile crypto is. Maybe it shoots back up by the end of the day. By the way, HBAR 0.95 cents. Very good opportunity here to pick up some good deals here. But what I really want to talk about, and not just because I'm wearing the Flare hoodie today, but we're watching this in real time. The lowest I've ever recorded Flare, and if I jump down to 23, around October, this was, you got to really drill in to get this thing. Let's just see if the data loads. The lowest Flare ever recorded was on October 19th. So let's drill this in even further. We've got, let's see if I can find it here. I know, okay, so it was on the 19th. I just want to see that official number. I know it's going to be a little lower. Oh, hold on. I dragged it a little too much. Let's drag a little bit more on the left. Okay, I got to drag a little bit more. Here we go. So we hit, I think this is the lowest it's ever logged, was 008288. Right now we're at 0.008315. I mean, guys, we're like less than 1% away from hitting this. I will definitely be buying flares like a celebratory. I just bought the bottom purchase. I actually bought flare this morning. I bought enough flare this morning to actually get into Scepter, so we're going to be doing that. I don't know if we'll do it on this stream today. We'll see. We're definitely going to be looking at Firelight, so that'll be something we look at later on in the stream. But when it comes to flare, I know this can look scary, guys. You're looking at flare and it's like, well, it's down more than even the other cryptos that are out there. I believe in this project enough that when I see a dip like this, instead of like getting upset or getting worried or saying like the project's dead, I'm looking at this and thinking like this could be a life-changing project. And this is not financial advice, by the way. This is purely my opinion. If you don't believe in flare, you probably shouldn't buy it. I'm buying flare because I believe in it. And so you have to ask yourself about your own convictions, especially when you're in this space where something is as down as flare is. I'm not worried one bit about this. Some people might look at it and say, you know, are we being sold a bill of goods here? Think about what the utility is on flare, because it's not just another crypto token. It's a force multiplier for tokens that are already out there. They started with XRP. They're going to eventually do for Bitcoin and for Dogecoin and for Stellar the same thing they've done for XRP, which is the ability to wrap and, you know, delegate your tokens towards some sort of DeFi platform that maybe natively Bitcoin, Doge, and XRP not really able to do. And so they're a force multiplier. I know that not everybody's going to believe in it. That's fine. If you don't believe in it, probably better not to buy it. But I'm going to be buying a lot of flare over the next coming months. As long as it's down like this, I'm probably not buying other coins until we get some movement on flare, and then I'll kind of diversify a bit. But I'm in serious accumulation mode when I see this price, like serious accumulation mode. And we can talk more about that a little bit later. I haven't made any big moves yet, but I am considering making some pretty big moves. Quant, I'm going to scroll up here. Quant has kind of moved up a little bit, you guys. It was at the low 60s earlier this week. Now it's at 60, probably going to pass render here any day now. Quant is one of the only tokens that has not had too much of a spillage over the past 24 hours. I mean, it's had a little bit, but certainly not like the rest of the market we're seeing. So Quant moving its way up. It seems to move at a beat of its own drum, which is one thing I really like about it. It does not seem to be coupled with Bitcoin the same way other coins are. This will definitely be one to definitely be keeping an eye on. I'd like to be getting more Quant in general. We'll see if, you know, if Flare starts to break out again, I'll probably start picking up Quant. But as long as Flare is at its true all-time lows, I can't pass up those buying opportunities. So I'm looking at Quant thinking this is definitely on my radar, probably my number 2 buy. And then XRP would be my number 3, and then HBAR would be number 4. Not that I'm going to stop buying any of those 4. It's just at the current prices, I'd rearrange them in that order. So that is kind of my opinion on that. And by the way, for those of you guys in the chat, it's totally fine for us to have different opinions. I don't mind that one bit. So if you believe in something I don't believe in, or if I believe in something you don't believe in, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's probably best that we're not always 100% aligned. Otherwise, it'd be kind of like an echo chamber. So I appreciate that there's differing opinions. I'm going to hop over here. The Japanese government bond market hitting that, hitting those straight 2s right there. That's got to be a lucky number. A little bit down from the 2.6 that we saw yesterday. In fact, at one point, it got all the way up to 2.3. I think that would have actually been 2 days ago. It's come back down a little bit. This will be something we continue to monitor. I'm thinking if this goes to 2.5 or up to 3%, that's when you start getting into that danger zone territory. So sitting at a 2.22, had a little bit of easing over the past 2 days. We're going to continue monitoring that. Want to check out oil. Oil's on its way back up again, you guys. I said I think it was Friday. I said last Friday on the stream, my prediction was somewhere between 17 and 18,000 by the end of the week. Well, today's Wednesday, and we're just about to crack into the 1700s. I think it cracked into it overnight. Like, here we go. Do any of these candles hit 17? I don't think they did, but guys, look at that. 16,952. That's basically 17,000. I mean, we'll just round that up. I think it will 100% close above 17,000. I think we might see it reach 18 by, well, I guess the Japanese markets would be closed like Friday morning. So Friday morning, let's just see where this is at. I have a feeling if it's not 18,000, it's going to be in the mid 17s. So we'll see. In general, I expect this is going to increase week over week for the foreseeable future. Could be looking at a 20,000 yen Brent oil by April. I think that's kind of the direction it's heading in. Maybe not April 1st, but it's probably in the first week of April. Certainly in the month of April. And then I think it will probably get even higher than that as we approach May and June. Hard to say what the prices will be by then. It all depends on how much of the oil reserves are the Asian markets going to burn through. The closer they get to running through their reserves, the more likely this thing could really shoot up like parabolic growth. And I think that's not a good thing. So we're keeping an eye on it. Here in North America, United States, crude WTI just shy of $100 a barrel. You guys, this is going to affect us in the grocery stores. So you're going to notice your bills going up. Utility, gas and electric will be going up. Obviously, gas at the gas station, that's a no-brainer. But there's things that are not so obvious that are going to go up. You know, your grocery stores, I mean, even like concert tickets. So anything that's leisurely or like entertainment, those are all going to start going up in price. We could be expecting, if this continues the rate that it's at, people might be feeling pretty pinched this summer. So this might be the summer for paddle boarding and going to the park and hiking in the woods. Maybe this is not going to be, you know, stuff like this actually could, and not to be funny, but this really could damage like concert sales. I know summertime's big for music festivals, things like that. I could see the rising gas prices actually really hemorrhaging attendance to things like those. So that's not that you guys probably don't necessarily care about music festivals, but you know, I just look at this kind of thing as like a microcosm of the economy. If the youth feels too pressed to go out and waste their money, then you know things are bad. Of course, you guys know here on this channel we'd rather spend our money buying assets, but that's not the general population. We're keeping an eye on this. I expect to be over $100 a barrel again very shortly. It came back down for, I mean, we were at 100 a barrel last week, at least at one point. Now this chart's kind of weird. It says 1 hour. I think it's 1 hour candles, but I expect a chart to just be like a time frame. Anyways, last week, or maybe even 2 weeks ago at this point, I think we saw it reach an all-time high of $111 is what I'm seeing here on my screen. I think it's only a matter of time before we get back up there. We saw that crazy spike like the day after the Iran strike started. I think we're getting back. It's just going to take a minute. And Wine says he goes to wine festivals. I would like to go one of those. You You know, I've gotten a little bit too old, I think, because I'm in my mid-30s. I've gotten a little bit too old for your traditional music festival. But for some reason, I still hold a spot in my heart near and dear for going to a concert. Like, it's almost like going into your imagination and trying to remember what it was like to be a kid, and you're just partying like crazy. But then you go and try and do it every once in a while as an adult, and you're like, wait a minute. I'm hungover, my throat's dry, I'm standing in line for the porta potty for 45 minutes. Like, this isn't actually fun. It's just, I remember the idea of it being fun, but then it actually ends up not being fun at all. Maybe that's just a sign of getting older. I'm in my mid-30s, so I know some of you guys are going to think I'm young, which I guess it's all relative, right? But that's that. So I want to hop over to Firelight. Now, we're going to do something fun here, guys. I'm just going to pretend like you're not here for about 15 minutes. We're going to shoot a video, and this is going to... I can get this Firelight announcement out to the general masses much quicker than if I was to just shoot this over again after the stream is done. This right here is what they call efficiency, right? So I'm going to start recording this video. I'll interact with you guys in the chat in like 15 minutes. By the way, I'm going to end the video. I'm not going to end the stream, but I'm going to end the video. So you guys will be here for that. All right, I'll talk to you guys in about 10 to 15 minutes. What's going on, you guys? I have some incredible news, the moment we've all been waiting for. The Firelight vault caps have officially been increased from 25 million FXRP all the way up to 65 million FXRP. This happened just today, this morning, a few hours ago before I recorded this video. It is already up to around 40 million FXRP invested. So if this is something you want to take part of, I highly recommend that you get in as quickly as you can. By the way, this is not financial advice. I am not a licensed professional. I am not a financial advisor. So if you are going to do this, make sure you do your own research and take care when it comes to involving yourself in DeFi. With that being said, let's begin. I'm going to start sharing my screen now. So just so we're all starting here on the same page, I'm going to be converting 200 FXRP from my own Mystic vault into Firelight. The reason I'm doing this is because I originally set out to have 2,000 FXRP minted. I achieved that goal. I don't necessarily at this point in time want to mint any more FXRP until I've seen for myself that we're getting good yield on that. I do believe it will come in time. I'm just not quite there yet, and because Firelight does not actually have rewards officially announced, I want to exercise maybe just a little bit of caution. But that being said, I do have the FXRP. I am ready to rock and roll with it, and so I'm going to show you guys how I will do it, and I'll do it right now in this video. By the way, we're also running this video on my live stream. If you like this kind of content, I stream every day, Monday through Friday that is, from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you like this content, head over there. You're going to be able to get daily updates on all the things that I'm doing with my crypto. So I'm on the screen right now. In fact, as I started recording, it's actually now up to 42.5 million FXRP. So even though the vaults were increased today, they are actually filling up fast. If this is something that you want to do, I really recommend that you get involved as soon as you possibly can. I'm going to be moving my FXRP over right now from Mystic so that I can get from 300, which you can see right here, I've got that highlighted. I'm going to go from 300 to 500. If I'm happy with its performance once it goes live, I'm happy to start converting more of my FXRP. I'm happy to convert more of my XRP into FXRP. For now, I'm capping myself at 2,000. I'll let you guys decide what your risk tolerance is, but for me, 2,000 XRP is what I'm willing to contribute at this time. I'm sure it will get more in the future, once we see that there are some good yield. And another important aspect of this is I want to be able to recover the yield. So we're going to do that in real time. Actually, I'm going to go over to Mystic right now. You're going to see on my Mystic page that I currently have 1,200 FXRP supplied. I know it's on here somewhere. I'll cut this part out, you guys. Maybe we start out with a dashboard. So right now I'm on Mystic. I'm looking at the dashboard. You can see in my position here, I have 1.2 FXRP or 1.2K FXRP or 1,200. It's supplying right now around 2.5% yield. I haven't actually been that satisfied with that, so I am more than happy to withdraw 200 FXRP so that I can allocate that towards Firelight. Let's see over time if that becomes something that is much more feasible. So I'm in the withdraw tab. I'm just going to simply type in 200 and hit confirm. Now on my phone, on my Bifrost wallet, you're going, well, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on your end, but I'm going to confirm this transaction. And oh, hold on. I have to let me refresh my screen here. I didn't have my wallet open at the time, so we'll cut this part out. So what I'm going to do is simply withdraw 200 FXRP from this dashboard. You can see I'm going to hit confirm. And then on my phone, I've already got my Bifrost wallet open. Once I hit confirm, there will be a notification that hits my phone for me to fulfill this order. Well, at least it's supposed to. Here, let's just do this because it doesn't. This can happen, you guys. I'm breaking the third wall here. Breaking that third wall. All right. So now I'm simply going to withdraw 200 FXRP. Huh. Hold on. This seems to be having some glitches here. There we go. So I've simply entered 200 FXRP. I'm now going to hit the confirm button. On my end, you can see, and I'll just show it to you guys like this. You can see on my phone, I now have, let me get that focus. You can see on my phone, there's that confirm button at the bottom. I just have to confirm the transaction with the Bifrost wallet. Very, very nice for stuff like this. I'm just going to hit confirm. I got to use my face scanner, but boom, it's actually already done. You can see the transaction is now complete. Sorry if my camera is not totally in focus. There we go. Now what's cool, I'm going to share my screen again. It's actually already complete. You can see this, maybe on the screen it's not very bright, but it says right here, my supplies, 1,000 FXRP. And if I go to my dashboard, I'm going to see that, sure enough, there's 1,000 FXRP there. If I want to even further cross-examine this, I'm on the F Assets page right now. If I go to the Mint tab, I'm going to see, boom, it even did it right there in real time. I went from 0 FXRP to 200. So I now have 200 FXRP ready to rock and roll. We're going to get this in the Firelight. Now, I did a demo on how to mint FXRP. There's going to be something that appears at the top of the page like right now. If you're watching this on computer, I highly recommend that you right-click that video, put it into a new tab so that you can watch it after this one. Otherwise, just hang out at the end of this video. That video will play next. It's a tutorial on how to mint FXRP. Originally, the vaults were supposed to go live about 2 weeks ago. It didn't, unfortunately, but I still shot the video. We minted the FXRP for this specific purpose. We can now do it on March 18th. Firelight is officially live. So I'm going to hop over to my Firelight tab. You can see that I'm now going to be able to contribute. I'm going to go over here to where it says deposits. In the top right corner, it's going to say deposit and stake. You can see, by the way, I have some history here. I've put FXRP in a couple of times. Now, unfortunately, the vaults filled up very fast. I would have put more in much earlier if they weren't full. But once they were full, they were full. It was very difficult to get more. So as you can see, I am now on the confirmation. I'm getting my phone ready because we're going to have to do this again. Once I hit start staking, I'm going to get a blurb that pops up on my phone. In fact, I'm going to see if I can get this in real time for you guys. So I'm holding up my phone to the screen. I'm now going to hit the stake button. And I'm going to have to hit finish staking. Let's see. Now, I should be getting a blurb on my phone. Let's just see if that ends up hitting. Nothing yet. So maybe we're going to have to do what we did on the other one and have to probably just sign out of these and just pretend that this part didn't happen. By the way, for those of you guys in the live stream, I don't get through a single video without having something to go wrong. There was also that one time I had a crash out on stream, but we don't got to talk about that. All right, so I've reconnected everything. We're just going to shoot that part again as if it didn't happen. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit deposit and stake. So I'm going to be able to go over here. You can see I've got 200 FXRP available. I'm just going to hit the max button. Let's see if I just get all of those in there. Well, actually, no, I'd rather just put 200 in flat. That way I can have a little left over for other purposes. So I'm going to leave what I had there. I'm just going to put the 200. Now, I'm going to actually try and do this for you guys in real time. I'm going to hold my camera or my phone up to the camera, and I'm going to hit staking. We should see a blurb come up to confirm this transaction. Look at that. Now, it might be hard to read for you guys on your end, but you did at least see it pop up on my phone. All I have to do is hit the confirm button. Use my face scanner. By the way, if you want, you can just use a password. You don't have to have the face scanner. I just do because it makes life so much easier. So boom, in real time, we just saw here at 11:42 a.m. on March 18th, the day after St. Patrick's Day, we've got ourselves 200 more into FXRP. I'm now officially back up to 500, which is what I wanted to originally be way back in December. Technically, I'm a little shy. I've got some gas fees in here, but that's pretty moot. If I really wanted to, I could have jammed in that extra gas in there, and that would officially be over 500. But nonetheless, I'm into Firelight. When we started this, it was at 42,600,000 FXRP. I'm looking at it right now. It's 42,750 FXRP. So what does that mean? For starters, it means I better get this video out fast. And for seconds, if this is something that you guys want to be involved in, it means that you have to get in fast. None of this is financial advice. I'm just telling you guys the truth. I don't know how much longer the vault will stay open. 65 million FXRP is quite a bit more than 25, but here we are. You can see this is actually a good indicator at how much potential this has. People have been chomping at the bit to get FXRP into this, so much so that if you think about it, over $20 million have gone into this thing in just the past 3 or 4 hours. It's actually a very big deal. Over $20 million has gone into Firelight today. So I put mine in. I want to see what the yield looks like before I put in any more. Right now, we are only accumulating points. I don't know what the points are going to do. I have a feeling they're not going to do anything monetary, so don't get too excited. Don't think that your Firelight points are going to turn into stable coins or anything like that. I'm not a spokesman for them. I am wearing the Flare hoodie, but I'm not a Flare employee. So take all this with a grain of salt, you guys. If you do want to do this, I hate to say it, but time is of the essence. I wouldn't wait around. Not financial advice. With that being said, guys, if you enjoy this content, make sure to like this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not already. If you want to be a part of my live streams, we're streaming daily from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll have a link for my Discord in the description below. If you need help with this kind of stuff, I'm in there helping people very frequently. We've got some other members of the channel that are very helpful as well. We'll never ask for your wallet address. We will never, ever ask for your seed phrases. If you were to see something like that, notify me and I will make sure that those users are kicked from the channel immediately. It hasn't happened. That's just a safety measure. So with that, you guys, I'm going to cap things here. Hopefully you get in the Firelight vaults before they fill up. And with that, you guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. All right, guys, how'd I do? That wasn't too bad, was it? That wasn't too bad. Only had to fix my wallet like 3 different times. Hey, at least I didn't have a freak out this time. You know, the last time I had a ruptured eardrum, I had like headaches, and I kind of crashed out a little bit when it didn't work. But we're just gonna, you know, I actually delisted that stream, so you guys can't even see it if you wanted to. So we're just gonna pretend it never happened. But all in all, I think that went pretty good. But that's kind of what it looks like for me to shoot a video. Sometimes things go well, sometimes they don't. But that was cool. I mean, the video's literally shot, so now I just have to edit it and post it, which I'm going to try to do as soon as this stream's over. Let me just make sure it actually showed up where I wanted it to. Ah, boom, look at that, you guys. This video is... What's going on, you guys? Only 15 minutes, so should be able to knock that thing out. Have it out by like 2 p.m. Hopefully. I bet this thing will be at like 45 million FXRP by the time I get it done. Well, that was cool. By the way, I know I mentioned it in the beginning of the stream. I'm going to mention it again. I am going back to work. I received an offer. I accepted it. I'm going back to work. I'm going to be working West Coast hours. I live in the Eastern time zone, so that means there's flexibility here in terms of the stream. I could either just... I don't know if it'd be a good idea for me to keep streaming 11 to noon. I think that part I can't do, but I think there's definitely a possibility of streaming from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. and then just starting my day job. Because if you got to think about hours, like 10 a.m. East Coast would be, what, 7 a.m. West Coast? So it's like, I don't think anyone's going to be trying to get a hold of me before 10 a.m. anyways. Could easily stream from 9 to 10. Nothing else on that front will change. Or I'll stream at night, like 9 p.m. or later. That's also an option. I'm going to kind of kick it around. I might actually throw out a poll. Let me know what you guys think. I'm not going to stop making content. I'm just going to have to change when the content comes out. So I'm going to throw a poll out real quick. What time is best for the stream? We're going to throw out option 1 is going to be 9 a.m. Eastern time. Option 2 is going to be 9 p.m. Eastern time. And we're just going to start the poll. I mean, we could always mix those hours up. I just want to see what you guys think. And I'm leaning more towards 9 a.m. 9 a.m. is closer to 11 a.m. So it kind of keep the core audience around the same time schedule. Plus... advantage of 9 a.m. I catch the markets opening, but then actually streaming at night, I catch the markets closing. So there's flexibility there. Either way, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to have to change the timing a little bit. But I've talked about this a few times on the channel, and I'll just bring it up again. I really don't like predatory content creators. You guys have seen them. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like they're making videos full of crap just so that they can milk you for your watch time. I don't want to be that kind of YouTuber, and having a real day job is going to be what stops that from happening. Because if I don't rely on the channel for money, then I can just make videos because I like making videos. And I think that's best for everybody. It was tough. You guys, I'm going to be real with you. I had more job interviews in the past 4 months since Thanksgiving than my entire career combined. Like, I'm talking about from like being 16 years old, applying for like serving jobs at Chipotle, all the way up to, I guess, April, when I originally got laid off from my original job, like exactly a year ago. Even getting a job after that was easier than getting a job right now. So, I mean, if you guys are out there struggling, I feel you. It's terrible out there right now. But at least for me, it's over, which means I'm going to be buying. I want to let you guys know something. Because I will officially be making money again, that means the market's going to rip. And it's going to rip before I get a paycheck. So you guys are going to be very, very happy in the month of April. Oh man, I crack myself up sometimes. Josh says, Andrew, if someone gave you $5,000 on the side of the street and says to invest this for them, do you stick all into Flare and XRP? Well, here's the thing. It depends on how much you guys have. Like, I don't want to tell you guys specific numbers, just aside from the fact that I met my original XRP goal already. I won't say what it was, but I passed it. And when I say I passed it, I mean I'm like past it. So at this point in time, I don't necessarily need more XRP. I mean, I'm not going to say no to more XRP, but it's not like I'm hurting for more XRP. I would like to have more of other stuff though, because look, it's never smart to have every single egg in the same basket, even if that basket is ordained by God to succeed. Because then, think about it like this. If you put all of your money into XRP, then it's not like you're rich. It's like XRP's rich. And if XRP were to become poor, which by the way, right now it is, it's at $1.44. We used to be at $3.40. So it's not like you're rich. XRP's rich. It's not like you're poor. XRP's poor. So when you have all of your money tied up into one specific thing, you don't really have financial security. But if you have your money spread into different things, like let's say you had like 10,000 XRP, and then you had, I never covered silver and gold, by the way, but if you had, 10,000 XRP tokens, and then maybe you've got like 100 ounces of silver, and you got like 100 ounces of gold, and like you got $100,000 in the S&P 500, and you've got, you got your H bar, and you got your Flare, and you got all this other stuff, and then maybe you've got like a rental property that you're renting. You are protecting yourself with different vehicle classes, and maybe they're not all going to grow at the same pace, but your odds of becoming poor is almost zero. Like, the entire world would have to go to crap for you to become poor. And that's just why I'm not going to say not to buy XRP. Obviously, I'm not going to say not to buy XRP. I'm just saying that in my own personal space, right now, I'd rather be buying a little bit more Flare because I've already met my XRP goals. If you haven't met your XRP goals, just keep buying XRP, and maybe Flare would be like a side project for you. For me, Flare's become the main project, at least for now. I mean, guys, it's never going to be It's never going to be 0.0834 like ever again. And maybe it goes a little bit more down. Like we might see Flare go down to 0.080. I mean, it could happen. It could go a little bit lower than that. I don't think it will stay that way. And I'm pretty confident that when it does rebound, it's probably going to shoot up to... I think the timeline of going from where it is right now up to 5 cents will probably be like 3 or 4 months when it happens. It's going to be similar to this. Back in 2023, you know, Flare was at a penny. By February of the next year, it was 5 cents. I think that we're going to see that kind of growth on Flare. I just don't know the exact days. But I do think when Flare moves, it will move that way. So that's just why I'm like, guys, I mean, obviously not financial advice, but that's just how I feel about it, you guys. Let's just see Scepter. SFL, all right. Iman, this is the right one, right? I know that you're in the chat. It's www.scepter.fi. I'm going to wait for you to confirm that before I jump in there and do something that I just want to make sure I'm clicking the right one. Always make sure you're clicking the right links, you guys. While I'm waiting to hear from Iman, I'm going to go and log my other... I'm going to log my other recordings for the day. I had a good conversation with Millpower, and he had a quote that I liked. He says, "That which gets measured gets done." And, you know, we're measuring this DeFi stuff every day. So it's, you know, it's getting done. Same way with dieting, by the way. You guys know I just recently started my spring cut. I'm doing my keto carnivore bacon diet. So, you know, stepping on the scale every day, making sure that I'm holding myself accountable. I'm having about 2 pounds of bacon per day right now. By the way, if you do enjoy working out, your performance in the gym will be absolutely piss poor during something like this. So you just have to be aware that your performance will be very bad for like 3 or 4 weeks if you do decide to follow my diet with me. So I'm just going to be logging all my goodies here. Got this evil number here in my kinetic rewards. Let's hope we get a reward soon so we don't have to look at that again. How are we looking on kinetic? I got to connect all my goodies again. So, ooh, they got a specific box for Bifrost, so that's cool. Huh. Never seen that before. Oh well. All right, hold on. Hold on. Okay. I had something very strange there. I said that the domain could not be verified, so I had to like be like, wait, am I in the wrong one? But then I refreshed the page and it worked. Just so you guys know, there are scammers out there that try to impersonate these sites. So it's very important that if you are going to be doing this, that you need to be on the right app. And sometimes the apps will be off by like literally a character. Like instead of a dot or like a period, it'll be a hyphen. If you do this, don't just blindly like blast through. Like really just make sure that you are in fact on the right pages. I don't close my tabs, so I don't like continuously have to keep coming back to these. So I know I'm coming at it from the right spot. But like if you open up a new browser, make sure that you go slow, because the last thing you want is to sync up to a scam and lose all your stuff. I've talked to people on this channel that has happened to, and that's pretty devastating. So just make sure if you're gonna do this, start from the Flare site. That's why I didn't click on the Scepter link yet, because I'll probably just see if I can get the Scepter from the Flare site. I want to make sure that's the right link before I actually go there and click it. But in the meantime, I'm gonna log my FXRP really fast since we're here. I'm up to 0.55, so that's cool. Ooh, could finally drop this down to 1,000. Firelight's at 500. Kinetic is at 500. And I'm thinking about it right now. I haven't been too blown away by Mystic. Should I just pull off the Band-Aid and stick 500 more into Firelight? The thing about it is I don't know what the Firelight yield will be yet either. So I'm really excited about this stuff, you guys. I'm really excited, but as a objective person, as someone who's being objective, I would like to see a little bit more transparency as someone who wants to see this thing succeed. I don't know what the points will do yet. I don't think it's going to be monetary, so it's just something to think about. Now let's see if Iman had a chance here to Iman, here we go. Share this screen. Oh my gosh, I wasn't sharing my screen. Oh my goodness, it's the second time this week this has happened. Oh my goodness, you guys know, you guys didn't see any of this. Oh, this is the second time this week this has happened. I went through all this stuff, but my screen wasn't being shared. Well, anyways, there was no delegation award, so we didn't log a delegation. The collateral pool went up just a little bit. My kinetic went up a little bit. My mystic rewards, the evil 666 number. I haven't claimed my kinetic flare reward yet, so there's still zeros there. But by the way, the reward, I think, is actually ready to be claimed. Maybe it's not. The gold claim section is still blanked out. But then so I can't claim my kinetic yet, but it's there. Let's see, Mystic is at 2.5. Not too thrilled about that. What's going on, buddy? Almost done. We'll go for a walk in like 2 minutes. Well, actually, that's a lie because I want to get that video out. Josh asks, what's the APY on Firelight? We don't know yet. So that's kind of the thing. Over here where it says rewards, it's just a Firelight button. I wish I knew. I don't. And that's part of it, right? That's part of it. I would be way more willing to put more FXRP in here if I knew what the yield was going to be. Now, since we've been streaming, FXRP is officially over 43 million. That alone is pretty telling, you guys. I don't know how people could look at this. And Josh, I'm not calling you out. I'm just saying in general. I don't know how people could look at this and not be excited for Flare, because Flare did this. Flare has built this ecosystem for XRP that otherwise would not exist. So really happy with that. I'm gonna see if Scepter is on the Flare website, because I want to make sure I'm clicking the right link. So Iman, I'm going to ask, is this the right one? I just want to make sure because I haven't actually been to the Scepter one yet. Scepter liquid staking, Scepter.fi. Is this the right one? Now that I'm sharing my screen, hopefully. All right, cool. All right, I'm in my fate is in your hands. We're going to do this we're going to do this live. In fact, I'm going to record this just in case we want to turn this also into a video. So I'm going to be staking my Flare on Scepter for the first time. We're going to do this live. We're going to figure it out on the go. I'm going to hit stake Flare. I'm going to have to connect my wallet here. So I agree to the terms and conditions. We'll do wallet connect. I'm going to simply have to scan the QR code, which we are now connected. So I've got 50,000 that I'm willing to put towards today. Right now I have a balance of 50,066. I'm going to leave the 66 over for gas. Pretty cool. We see an 11.5 APY for Flare on FLR liquid staking, which would be the Scepter website. Now I'm figuring this out in real time, so this might be a little sloppy, but I do believe I'm going to have to swap to SFLR in order to get this thing started, I think. So let's just see. Just going to see what happens if I put in 50,000. Actually, let's just do a quick tour of the site before I move forward with this. So this is the stake tab. I'm going to go to unstake. There's nothing for me to unstake yet because I don't have anything in here. But we have the FLR liquid staking. So this is that. Then you go here, Flare, you got your APY. If I had a balance, it looks like this would be basically the stake tab, but in reverse. So this would be how you kind of pull out. I assume there's also probably this is probably how you claim your rewards, I'm imagining. So over here is requests. I don't know what requests would be. S rewards. This might be, maybe this is how you claim. I'm doing this for the first time, you guys, so we're figuring this one out, but I'm going to be putting 50,000 in today. Now you can earn, I'm not sure what this one will be. We'll probably have to figure this out as we go. I do already have Flare in Kinetic, so maybe after I get into this thing and experiment with it a bit, we'll see if I can sync up with Kinetic and make something happen with that. Now you have this history tab. So, well, this is interesting. It says I have 28 interactions, although I've never been on here before. So how could that make sense? Well, isn't this strange? Huh. Well, I'm just looking at this right now. Oh, it must just be tracking my wallet, because I did do that. On February 1st, I did add 50,000 Flare, but not to this website. So it must just know what's been going on with this wallet. That's interesting, because I haven't, it says complete history of all of your Scepter interactions. I haven't been interacting with Scepter. But this does look like it would be my wallet's recent history. So, oh, in fact, here's my claimed reward. If you guys watch my live streams, you'll know I claimed this as an Epoch reward on March 16th, so that makes sense. Anyways, we're going to jump over now to stake. I'm going to put 50,000 in. And what's going to happen is I'm actually going to be receiving SFLR. By the way, if you like this content, I did a video with one of the channel members on my own page. His name is Iman. I'll have a link to that video. You can either click on it, it'll be somewhere in the top right up here, or you can just wait until the end of this video and get that demo. He went through how all of this stuff works. I'm finally just getting around to it. So we're going to experiment with this. He's the expert. I'm figuring this one out as we go. So this is just for record keeping purposes, I figured why not just turn it into a video. So I'm right here. I'm going to hit stake. I'm now confirming the transaction. Now, on my own phone, you're going to see that I now have this transaction to approve. Hopefully the screen starts to get into focus. There we go. It takes a second sometimes for the camera to focus in. So I'm now just going to simply confirm this. On the Bifrost wallet, this stuff is super easy to do. I use the facial recognition scanner. However, you don't have to use that. If you're not comfortable with it, you could just enter in your password. But I do use facial recognition. So you can see staking is successful. Your flare has now been staked, and your Scepter flare will start accruing value. So now I can view that transaction on the block. I don't know. Now, maybe I'll have to reconnect with Iman, but I don't know if I'm choosing an FTSO with this quite like I would, back on the Flare network. So I might just be getting a flat 11.5% APY on this, which is pretty solid, you guys. I'm very happy with this figure right here. I am getting about 12% on my Flare spreadsheet. The only difference here is that with Scepter, you don't actually need 50,000. You can stake with less. So that's very flexible for people that maybe aren't really ready to dip their toes in and buy a big bag of Flare. I didn't mind doing it. The reason I went with 50,000, I'm going to jump over to my Flare spreadsheet. By the way, I'm going to have to add a new column here. So let's do that while we're talking here. I just wanted to keep everything consistent. So you'll see that I have starting values for Wrap Flare staked and collateral at 50,000. I eventually got into Kinetic with 50,000. Now we're also into Scepter with 50,000. So wanted to keep everything at the same base values. I thought that would be a kind of consistent and honest way of doing things. Otherwise, the data might kind of be screwy. Now, unfortunately, they have different starting dates, so we have to kind of keep that in mind. But I'm running this experiment all the way until August. It's only March, so I'm getting into these things, maybe not all at the same time, but they are very early. And as you can see, I've got a lot of different things going on here. So right now with my Flare in total, I'm wrapping, I'm staking, and I'm doing collateral on the official Flare network. On top of that, I'm also into Kinetic and Scepter with my Flare. And then on Mystic, I'm doing my FXRP. I've got Firelight, and I've got Kinetic for FXRP. So we're doing a lot of whole different things. And I'm also using Hashpack for my H-bar. We'll do that one in a different video. Now, it's just occurred to me that I didn't shoot an intro for this, so I'm going to actually shoot the intro now, and then I'm also going to shoot the conclusion. For those of you watching on the live stream, we're breaking the fourth wall again. Hey, what's going on, guys? I have an exciting announcement today. I'm officially going to be staking my Flare on the Scepter network. Now, I've never done this before. I figured, why not turn this learning experience into content? So join me. We're going to be going over to the Scepter network. We're going to be figuring this out in real time. I'll give you guys a short overview or tour of the website. By the way, I'm going into it blind myself. So we're going to break it all down, and then we're going to finish out the video with actually staking 50,000 Flare, which will then be added into my Flare experimental data set, which you can track on my Flare mini-series playlist. We will be having the March update come out on April 1st. You're not going to want to miss that. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so that you don't forget. With that being said, we are now going to hop into the demonstration. Well, there you guys have it. That was the demonstration. Hope you guys like that. We're going to find out how well this works. We've added it to my data set. We're only on day one, so obviously there's nothing to claim now. If you'd like to track my progress with Scepter, I'll be doing daily updates on my live stream. I stream Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to noon Eastern time. So come join us there. You'll find out all the different information, not just with Scepter, but with all of my other DeFi opportunities as well. I mentioned in the video, I'm also doing hashback for my Hedera. We cover all of this on the stream. Beyond that, we also do market updates, and we track whatever news is coming out in the market during this stream as well. I'd love to see you guys there, so feel free to join me Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to noon Eastern Time. If you liked this video, please like it. Also subscribe to the channel if you have not already. That's the best way to continue getting updates. And if you want to learn more about DeFi, get more involved, I highly encourage you to join my Discord. It is there that I will be helping people get set up. It's also there where other people that are very knowledgeable in this space are helping out each other as well. Now, I will say this, we will never ask for your wallet address, and we're never going to ask for your seed phrase. If someone were to do that, notify me. I will kick them out of the channel immediately. And no, this has not happened. It's just a safety pre-measure that I take on this channel. I want to make sure that everybody in my community is safe, and so we do keep a very strict policy against scammers. With all that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. This is very exciting stuff for me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Dang, look at that, you guys. We just shot 2 videos on the live stream. I mean, talk about being efficient. That was pretty cool. So both of those videos will be coming out probably in the next 48 hours. So the Firelight one I'm going to be doing immediately after I turn this stream off. So I'll get that thing out as quickly as possible. And then I'll probably release the Scepter one either tomorrow or Friday, just to kind of give some time for... YouTube almost doesn't seem to like it when you double post in the same day. Maybe it's like your videos are competing against each other. So we'll kind of space those out. But that'll be cool stuff. Let me make sure I'm sharing my screen again. That's a real dope moment on my part to, hey buddy, what's going on? You want to be over here? Real dope moment like Homer Simpson does. That I streamed for like 10 minutes and didn't have my display up. So let's just jump over to Twitter. I want to look at... There's just been some crazy stuff coming. Well, I don't want to say crazy. It's like hype talk. But there's just been a lot in the past 24 hours for Firelight and FXRP in general. I just want to pop in and see what everyone's saying. I think Hugo's been on another posting spree. So I'm currently only on my following page. So we should start to see some pretty good stuff here. So right here, straight from Bifrost Wallet, we've already kind of covered this, but 65 million in Firelight. It looks like there's... Let's just go through this because it looks like maybe there's some info in here. So we got the TVL right here. So cap rate is the high demand. You've sure bet it did. Then we have the STXRP ecosystem. So I think we're going to be able to do something with our STXRP pretty soon. I just don't know what yet. It looks like you can swap it on DEXs. I haven't done any of that. So I don't know if that's even available. We'll have to kind of see. But this is cool stuff. It looks like there's going to be some kind of boost soon. So, you get 2x for staking on Firelight, but you get 4x for being on Enosis and SparkDex. Looks like there's also rewards for Morpho and Mystic. So, that's interesting. This thing says it ends April 6th, 5 p.m. Central Time. Why don't we just jump back over to Mystic and see, is there even anything for... Oh, there is. There is something for STXRP. So it looks like if I go to supply, I might be able to supply my STXRP then. How do I do that though? I guess I don't know. But it does look like there's something on Mystic that we can do for STXRP. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, here we go. What's the APY on this? That's not very good. Okay, let me see if I can just figure out how we got there again. So if I go here, so if I'm on earn, it doesn't look like you can earn on your S. Okay, I think I see what's going on here. I don't think I can earn on my FXRP, but I can borrow. So I think I could go to here to borrow. I think... Now, I don't know how you would do this yet. But it looks like maybe I could withdraw some FXRP into a wallet, which then I could use as collateral for loans on Mystic. I still need to figure out how this stuff works. This right here, I'm a little bit confused on. But it does look like there's at least something on here that can be done. It looks like they really want people to get into the SparkDex and Enosys if they're given a 4x on the points. Otherwise, I'm happy enough just to have it staked on Firelight, you know. Someone smarter than me can figure out how this thing works, and then I'll report on it. Let's see. There was some tweets from Hugo. Maybe I just go straight to Hugo. I want to see him. Yeah, so guys, this has just been a really big 24 hours for Flare. The FXRP, let's see how much they've been minted, by the way. I think it's probably a lot. So there's basically 134 million FXRP out there. Pretty cool stuff, guys. That's a lot of money. 25, yeah, here we go. 25% of the cap raise has been filled within minutes. That just goes to show how many people are on the sidelines waiting for this thing to happen. You know, I know I only put 200 FXRP in here, but I guess I am technically part of this number here. So this is good to track. I know some of you guys are in Europe. I'm sorry that you can't participate. I wish that you guys could. I don't know what else to say for that, but hopefully that thing gets figured out over time. So phase 2. Oh, okay. Sarah says phase 2 actualized yields come next. So that's got to be happening soon. I think I saw somewhere that April is when Firelight goes to phase 2. I just don't know what the dates are. So 1.5 hours. Oh, I have some saved posts. That's right. Okay, yeah. So straight from the Flare network. Phase 2 and actualized yields come next. So that's for sure coming soon. Then with Hugo, he says, Flare is currently moving in line with the broader market despite the high ecosystem growth. The coming governance proposal seeks to create a strong economic linkage between ecosystem activity and the Flare economy. I trust Hugo, you guys. I trust him. I think he's extremely smart. I think he knows what he's doing. I know that some people are a little down on its price, but I'm not worried at all. And then lastly, we've got some news coming out for the Clarity Act. Now, I don't know if this exactly means the Clarity Act is passed. I think really what this means is that the SEC is starting to kind of maybe move around the Clarity Act in a weird way. We've got 4 new categories: digital commodities, collectibles. This is going to be like your NFTs. Probably also other tokenized assets like your house. Sorry, I'm hiccuping. Digital tools, and then payment stablecoins. Flare is probably going to end up either as a digital commodity or a digital tool. Obviously, it won't be a stable coin, and then obviously it won't be a collectible either. But what does all of this truly mean? Does it mean that thing is past? I don't know if it's quite that. By the way, you're going to see people on Twitter saying, why didn't my coin make it? Why didn't this coin make it? This is not an exhaustive list. It's just using examples, right? It says they're right in the name. Examples of digital commodities. Be careful of content creators going out there saying, this coin is now a commodity, but that one isn't. That's not what this piece of paper is saying, but I'm sure there's going to be content creators out there doing exactly that. There's a lot of, I don't know if it's ignorance or if it's malicious, but in either event, keep an eye out for that stuff. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of it. Another cool thing to see, I know some people don't like HBAR for some reason. Well, HBAR is now working with Wyoming to have its first state-issued stable coin. Of course it would be Wyoming, right? Wyoming is the crypto state here in the United States. So, look, man, I just follow the news. If HBAR is getting partnerships, that tells me that HBAR is going to have that longevity that you want. Partnerships are the number one thing to look for when you're like, what crypto should I be buying? Which one's going to do the best? Probably the one that has partnerships. So I don't know how you couldn't be bullish on HBAR. Not saying that you guys aren't, but you see it with the crypto space. Some people just poo-poo on a token and they almost don't even really know why they would be doing that. They probably just don't know what's going on. Let's see. I think I've gotten through most of the news. More trouble. I've actually toned back on watching my war footage, so I'm in a better mood. I don't know if you guys can tell this week I'm in a better mood. I think the war footage in general has kind of died down a bit. I don't think I've seen as much of it this week as I did last week. I think kind of the sensationalism, you can only last so long before it's like, I just need other stuff to look at. That doesn't mean the war is slowing down. It just means that I guess we're just back in war, and it's just, it's going to be like 2004 all over again, or eventually just kind of get used to it. But anyways, finishing off the stream, we're going to wrap this up. Oil's currently sitting at 16,750, so I think it's going to break 1,700 in the next 24 hours. Let's see tomorrow's stream. You guys can run me up the flagpole if I'm wrong. I bet we see this break 17,000 at some point today or in the early morning. Finishing out the week somewhere in the high 1700s to 18, or did I say hundreds? Thousands. High 17,000s, possibly 18,000. Let's see if that comes to fruition. Other than that, markets have stayed down in the course of the stream. XRP sitting at 140 or 144. Seems to have flattened off though, so at least the pain seems to have stopped here. We'll see how things look tomorrow. As always, I want to see that moving 5-day average before I get too excited, so just keep an eye on that. We're not necessarily out of the woods yet, although I do close. So I'm going to start wrapping this up. Guys, super excited about this Flare hoodie. It's going to be my new favorite hoodie. I'll probably stream wearing this thing pretty often. I want to thank Flare again. I don't know if they watch the streams or not, but pretty sweet that they sent me this custom wallet. I think that's really cool. I'll definitely get that set up. I'm not sure what I'll put on it yet, but maybe it could be useful as like a tutorial video. Be like, here's how I use Decent. Here's how I use Ledger. Maybe eventually I'll get a Tangem so that I can have all the big ones. And you never know. Maybe it helps to diversify your wallet. So if you ever lose one, you've still got more. So with that, guys, I'm going to start wrapping up. expect to see the other flare video out, or like the Firelight video. I'm gonna crank this thing out as fast as I can, and then beyond that, we'll reconvene tomorrow. I think I'll probably just stream in the morning once I start my job, so I'll keep an eye out for that. Anyways, I will see you guys tomorrow. Take it easy.